Hey, what's going on, everyone? Guys, we are talking Dope Thief on Apple TV Plus. This is episode 5, titled Fear of God. Lamont, I'm curious on how you felt about this episode, sir. Let us have it. Let us have it.
I enjoyed the episode because we got back revelations on several characters that include Ray's dad. It includes muted Mina and how she's not so muted right now, and how she was taking advantage of someone only to find out that her ass was getting taken advantage of, and how I know people hate when I make these predictions, B. Avery, because I made it here. And I know people hate it, but you got to know Lamont Tyson knows life. When we first saw Mighty Fine Michelle, I specifically said that Ray was going to get the panty draws. And that happened in this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And you guys might be saying, damn, Lamont, why is it always like that? Why is it always like that? Ladies and gentlemen, cornerstone of life is sex. Fundamentally and psychologically, we wouldn't be here as a species if it wasn't for sex. And that's how I come through these great hypotheses.
Right on, man. Right on, right on. This was a entertaining, excuse me, episode, especially with the ending, because while it was better than episode 4, because we pretty much detested that. Like I said, I did enjoy this. This was a large web of manipulation across the board from all the characters involved. I mean, this onion was thick, tons and tons of layers. There was something that kind of rubbed me, I don't want to say rubbed me the wrong way, but I kind of rolled my eyes like, really? Y'all are going to set the scene up like this and then include this little aspect of it? I don't think that's necessary, kind of ruin the tone. But overall, it was better than episode 4. I'm still not in love with the show, but I'm interested in where the story is going. I just don't know if I'm a big fan on the perspective that we're getting, because Mina, the DEA agent with the Transformers voice sounding like a Decepticon, her story is much more interesting, or her perspective is much more interesting to me than Manny and Ray. But that's just how I feel. If this show would have started off just more, focused on Mina and Jack, with them possibly, on the outside, it looks like it's just a professional business relationship, but on the inside, they're lovers, and she thinks they're in love, and there's another wife on the side, but she thinks she's going to get replaced, but then she finds out that she's been manipulated. That just seems a bit more interesting to me. Manny and Ray, I mean, I like Manny because he's trying to, do amends and, turn over a new leaf. And that's cool and respectable. But again, both their characters are a bit annoying to me still. So a decent episode, better than 4, like I said, but I'm still, I think you're enjoying it much more than I am at this point. And that's fine. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Either or, it wouldn't matter. But starting off the episode, you said we got some backstory, well, with the father. With Ving Rhames' character, man. It started with him, Lamont, and it also ended with him. And the relationship didn't start out great. The little boy, the son, Raymond, is having to hide drugs in places you don't want to hide drugs in. And also seeing your dad get his ass beat. And on top of that, for the third strike, man, the excuse or the reasoning that he came up with, man, that's just not really a good role model or life lesson that a child should go through for their best development, man, to push that forward. I feel sorry for Ray. How'd you feel about that?
I felt sorry for Ray. And within all that, Dad did give him a good lesson about when you're a black man having to deal with the police and how they will try to get their pound of flesh. That was the only good lesson that came out of that, because those cops was talking shit and had a preconceived notion that the dad had something on him, which in all honesty, he did, but they didn't have the proper procedure to search the car. And if it wasn't for Ray saving his dad's ass, it would have been pretty bad and up the creek for the father in that moment. And I like how this story paralleled that moment all the way to present day, where now father has came back and paid the same homage to his son by literally saving his life when old Tattoo Face tried to take out Ray.
Yeah.
It came full circle.
Yeah. At this point in time, do you think that Ving Rhames' character, the dad, is redeemable at all? Is there a way that he can mail the relationship between himself and Ray? Because was it episode 3? I think it was episode 3. You know, Ray was done with him, man. F you, I'm gonna die before you. You're a piece of crap. The other way around, he's saying you're a disappointment as a son. You don't get to tell me that. He wanted, Bart, he wanted to choke Bart out in the hospital bed. But now Bart has literally saved his life. Is that enough for Ray to be like, you know what? I thought you was an a-hole. I thought you was a piece of crap, but you did save my life. Let's try to start over and make the best of this relationship we can. Is that possible at this point with the way the episode ended? What do you think?
American society behavior has taught us that redemption can be had at any point, no matter how bad the circumstances were. The only circumstance that you can't get redemption by doing these steps of admitting what happened, saying you were sorry, and then doing whatever it is you can do to rectify said deficit. There's only one situation in America where they obfuscate that premise, and that is Black people in slavery. And so, having said that, I do think that in this story, saving his life is a big step toward forgiveness, but now you got to follow that up with more actions that let your son know you're ready to be a real dad. And then you got to apologize for being a horrible father.
Yeah, this is true. We also, and I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. The thing that really pissed me off was the episode was kind of like, it was so for me. It was getting better for the third or fourth time. I'm saying this better than episode 4. When the gun went off and Ray got nicked, and his dad came and saved him with the, I was like, oh, okay, man, it's getting thick right now. The plot is getting juicy. It's getting thick. I like where we're going. But then why does they have Ray shove a fruitcake in his mouth while he was like, Lamont, that was so dumb, dog. Like, nobody's going to do, you're not going to have an effing appetite, bro, when you was just near death 30 seconds ago and you bleeding in the seat, or the back seat. I'm just like, wow. It was like it was just like another,
that was
like,
comedy.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny to me.
I chuckled. I chuckled because you remember he found that fruitcake at the front of a doorstep.
Right.
And so I got a little chuckle out of it, like, dude, this chaos. So the way you took it in the opposite direction, I took it the opposite direction. All this chaos, all this guns flying, people dead, you getting thrown in the garage, your dad is somehow or another out of jail, and your way of kind of taking a deep breath to relax is eating the damn fruitcake, which most Black people don't eat fruitcake in the first place. So that was kind of funny to me. That's why I laughed.
Okay, yeah, I mean, fruitcake. Yeah, I mean, y'all let us know what y'all think in the comment section. Lamont got a chuckle out of it. I kind of rolled my eyes. Comedy, humor is subjective, and so y'all let us know what y'all think in the comment section. Also, so I was saying, we also got to find out, like, why Bart did that in the first place. Was it because it was the right thing to do? He really was looking out for his son? Or was it some selfish reasons to where, like, I need him alive so I can get this? I don't really give a damn about him, but, I need him. Like, give me a quick short answer. What do you think there?
For breakout Bart, I think it can be all of the above.
Gotcha.
Because multiple things can be true.
Gotcha. You're right. Multiple things can be true. I just asked you, is Bart being genuine? But we got to talk about your girl that you brought up with your theory, your prediction, Miss Fine Ass Michelle, the lawyer. Is she being genuine? Is she really into Mr. Ray? Does she think that he is the good man that she says, and maybe wants to live happily ever after? Or does she just want a good time for a short time? Or is she sinister, like Sinatra from Paradise? Does she have something up her sleeve? Is she just trying to get the information? Because in my opinion, Ray ain't buying it. This whole time, he's like, man, look, I'm going to bust as many nuts as I can while I'm here, but I know everything you saying is crap, one ear out the other. What are your thoughts there, sir?
I think Michelle is completely genuine because of the story she told Ray after he pretty much said, look, are you using your panty drawers to get information out of me? And she gave that story about how she shows empathy for everybody, no matter how wrong you were. And the last time she did that, it came back to bite her because the people she got freed wind up killing 8 people the next day.
Right.
Yeah. So, and when something like that happens, it can definitely mess with your psyche.
Yeah.
But having empathy for people is a good thing. And I really think at her core, she is someone that has empathy for people, but is hard grizzled at this point. I do believe that her care for Ray is genuine. I felt it on the first scene they was in, so I think she's down for the cause.
Right on, man. I did not see that coming. I did not see it coming. And you did, obviously. So shout out to you. That was out of nowhere. Lamont, I was like, ain't no way they're gonna get together, man. I don't know, man. Call me a hater, man, but I just didn't see it. I just didn't see it. It just at the point in time in Ray's life right now. I think that's like the last thing on his mind, and he had the look on his face too, like, what the hell is going on? Were you checking my pulse? What's up? We in the middle of this Quaker meeting, and you stroking the hairs on my wrist. You know what I'm saying? Well, I thought she was trying to calm him down, but.
Well, she was.
I guess.
Definitely. She was doing that too. But however, in trying to calm him down, she was exhaling all her feelings into her fingertips. And you could see Ray had little goosebumps. Shout out to the cinematographer for that. He had little goosebumps. And while his ass was in there trembling like a cactus in Antarctica, she calmed him right on down.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we know, she getting the panty draws. And audience, oftentimes when people are under a lot of stress, they resort to sex.
Panty
That's what happens.
Draws. They do. Mm-hmm. They do resort to sex. That's exactly what Manny and Jack did too a few times in the car. We got to talk about that. But let me shift it in a way and come at you from a different perspective. Lamont, hypothetical situation. Mm-hmm. What would you do if you was married and your spouse tragically passed away? And in your time of grieving and mourning, the side piece comes to your door and be like, hey, your husband or your wife that passed away, I gave him a picture a while back. I'm just trying to see if I can get it back. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice picture. It meant something to me. It was really valuable. It's really, really sentimental. Well, you know where it's at? What would you do in that situation?
God, I try to be honest on your hypotheticals. It just depends on where I'm at in the grieving process. And it depends on where I'm at and how long I've known that this affair been going on. I have a forgiving heart. I have been cheated on. And I have forgiven that person. Mm-hmm. So, and in that moment where the husband is dead, if wife knew that this was going on, she might have mentally already done checked out. So she might not have minded giving her the picture to just go ahead and turn the corner out of this part of her life. Me personally, if I'm still in kind of the grieving stage, I would have told her cracker ass to get out the house. You're not getting nothing unless you pay me. Unless you pay me for the pain and suffering you caused when I didn't have my man, unless you pay me for whatever it is you need, you're not getting nothing. Go back to the trailer park to which you came out of. But I think this wife, she already told you she knew it was going on. And I think she just wanted to be out of this situation, period.
Yeah, that's probably true. She probably did feel relieved that Jack died. Like, hey, I don't got to deal with this ish no more. I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating here. It could be.
Hope he had good insurance.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did. How are you feeling about Jack though? By the way, is he a good guy or a bad guy? Was he really on the DEA side, or was he really working with the cartels? Because shortly after the scene we just mentioned, Mina is playing a little text message game. She's trying to figure out the source of the power. Who is at the top of the food chain? Got her these $2 bills and cheat codes and chicken coats and stuff. She meets somebody at the bar. Mysterious figure. I don't know if we should trust him too. Puts her on game. We remember the conversation. We all saw the episode towards the end. I can bury you, sweetie. We are all so far ahead of you. We all are. Lamont, I don't know what to think or who to trust. What is going on, Lamont? What are your thoughts, sir? What are your thoughts?
So when she met Rugged Randy at the bar, I immediately knew Jack was crooked. And we have seen this in American history, just like we had the Contras and the LA cops playing both sides of the fence. Whichever one served their purpose. But in this situation right here, I completely believe that Jack was crooked as a nail in a car's tire, and that this is a turning point. Because you said you couldn't see this either, but I told you, Mina and Mighty Fine Michelle would be the two people that can help Ray and Manny get out their situation. And her learning how crooked her boyfriend was, lying to his wife, lying to you, putting you in harm's way, could be the moment where she decides that she needs to help Ray and Manny. And this be the turning point that she actually they form a team. Mighty Fine Michelle, Muted Mina, Ray and Manny.
Yeah, Lamont. Yeah, I am. I'm with you, guy. I that's two right there. Lamont 2, Brandon B. Avery 0 over here. Because I think I got to go back and look, but I think my reaction was like, "What the hell are you talking about, man? They ain't gonna team up together."
B. Avery always do this to me.
You know
If y'all been following us long enough, he'll tell you I'm a writer. I write scripts. But then he'll always go against my better judgment and do his own thing, which is fine because we're a team. If I'm right, he right. Simple as that.
There you go. The character that Mina was talking to, though, can we trust him? Because I feel like he kind of was bugging somebody's phone and was infiltrating somebody. I don't think he is who he said he was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. He could work for some other faction that's trying to get the bag as well. Because when she was like, hey, the code, all this technology, I'm pretty sure they cloning phones and doing this and tapping this and, surveillance this and all that. Because he was like, well, if you got the code, she said 7323. Oh, that sounds about right. What? She could have just made up some number to see if it was a farce, and he could have exposed himself. So am I reaching or you think there's some type of truth there?
I think there's some truth there because, again, this episode had many parts that connected to each other. So number one, Mina got the picture of the informant and got the phones and got the $2 bill that had a code on it. Later on, we find out through Manny and the damn Amish that they've got $2 bills with specific codes. So I can believe that this is going on, but we just don't have enough information from old Rugged Randy at the bar of what is really going on. We just know we've got codes, we've got international smuggling of drugs, and now we done went and involved Quakers, we done went and involved Amish, and then we done went and involved Ray and his dad, and FBI, DIA.
I thank you for that, man, because what you just said changed my perspective on the show, and I'm liking it a little bit more now because it is really exposing all the BS that goes on behind the scenes and underground and how many different walks of life are actually involved in all this chaos as well. The owner at the laundromat, the lawyer at the courthouse, the judge, the Amish people on the farm, you know what I'm saying? The man working the cash register at the local corner store. It can be anybody. The teacher down the street teaching the 4th grade class. Her cousin could be taught. So that is interesting right there. And also how the pandemic not only effed up everything above ground, but below ground as well, man, of trafficking money back and forth, drugs, etc. It's quite interesting. Manny and Ray, some nobodies, done just created a cluster, destroying the whole goddamn network, because they was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Do you have any more thoughts about the Amish people and the cockadoo, however they was talking?
First of all, audience, I want to say to B. Avery, this was his poem slam snap moment. He got it. He understands what I get and what a lot of y'all got that makes the story so damn interesting.
Manny and Ray still suck, but keep going.
Yeah, they are terrible. One thing about Amish people, something that they do in their culture sometimes is when the young Amish kids are growing up, they'll send them out into the world so that they can sabotage themselves and come back to the Amish, and the Amish be like, see, we told you don't go messing with the new ways of man. And so you had 2 of their own people Gabrielle, and I forgot the other MF's name, went out there, got caught up in this life of crime, and the homestead Amish people don't want to have nothing to do with it and believe that God himself sent Manny and Ray to end their connection to all this buffoonery. I thought it was quite interesting, but for 1 minute, I was like, damn, is this the Amish cool in the game? They about to beat up Ray and Manny with pitchforks and stuff. I was like, oh snap, watch out for these guys.
Yeah, they're pretty serious. Yeah.
In the end, I think that we might see the Amish one more time come to the rescue or be used to help save Ray and Manny.
Yeah, man. The Avengers are assembling. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have Ray, Manny, the Amish.
I told you.
Mina,
Mighty Fine Michelle, Muted Mina, Breakout Bart.
Yeah, man. He's gonna have him twirling the pitchfork like a bow staff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Amish can scrap. We also got to talk about your boy Sonny. Mr. Nguyen. He trying to play with the kids. First of all, I don't know at this point if the arrest at the school was justified. That could have just been like, hey, we need you to make a phone call real quick, and they were just kind of flexing. I don't know. You can let me know what you think. But that was quite the riddle that he was trying to give Ray over the phone. Now, I definitely want to know your thoughts there, because the agents that was sitting right next to Sonny, they're not stupid. So to me, it was obvious that he was talking coded language to Ray on the phone. But did the cops not pick up on that at all? Because it was obvious, or am I tripping? Am I making sense? Does my question add up?
I mean, let's just break it down. What if even if they did pick up on it, what can they do? Because Son he walked a tightrope of trying to seem as though he's trying to lure Ray in, but at the same time giving Ray warnings that he had been picked up by the police. And so based on what Son said, he didn't do anything wrong. And even if they did assume that he tried to help Manny, there's nothing that they can say. If you go by what he said on the phone, on the phone call, he said nothing that could disprove that he wasn't trying to help them. My question is, what are they giving him to try to pull in Ray?
Yes.
Has he talked to his lawyer?
Good question.
Because his lawyer would have told him, don't do this. Is he really that? If he was really this angry and upset with Ray, he would have said whatever he needed to say to bring his ass on into jail, but he didn't do that. He spared him. So at this point, it's got to be safe to assume that the cops have nothing on him. And as we can see, he went back home.
Nothing on Son or nothing on Ray?
Nothing on Son.
Okay.
Because later on, you saw he was home, and then we saw old tattoo face freak pull up with the red eye as if he was going to do something, and now Son ain't going to have to worry about him no more.
Yeah, because that was the same guy that tried to take out Ray at the end, right? The same dude.
I'm assuming it is based on him having the red eye pointer.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So, how do we feel about Sonny though? Like, is he a friend or a foe? Can we trust him or not? Because he could have just been trying to save Ray because. Because of his own butt, save his own butt, because he's in one in police custody, and then we don't know what side he's on, because the what did you call him, the tattoo face freak or Freddy, he being threatened as well. Sonny throwing up his own hands like you ain't gonna do nothing. I don't know, man. How are we, or how are you feeling about Son? Because I don't know. I also, let me throw another one in there. Ray asked him a question like, "Say, bro, why are you calling me now? Was I supposed to die in that fishbowl? And I just get rid of, I'm still here, mother effer. I'm back." David Goggins. Yeah, that's just another aspect we got to look at, man. Thoughts.
I think we can trust Son, but my level of faith that he has a strong connection to people that can help Manny and Ray has completely gone down after what we seen on the last episode with the worst Eagles fan in America doing the worst covert attack strategy I ever seen in my damn life. So my faith in Son having the legit army to help these guys has gone down tremendously. The only way that I think Son is going to be able to help them, he's going to have to get his own hands dirty. That's the only way. Because I don't trust his goons no more. But I think Son is really beholden to Ray. I do.
Okay, we're gonna see, man. I don't know. I don't know. He's definitely an opportunist. He seems shady to me, man. I'm gonna put him on the. I mean, he not an enemy or a friend. We just indifferent. Like, hey, if there's a time where I can scratch your back and you scratch mine, cool, let's link. But you stay over there, I'm gonna stay over here tight. So y'all let us know what y'all think, because I don't know about that. There was, Teresa, the mother, she's always on Ray's butt. They kind of show her just a little bit in this episode. I hope that she lives. I hope she doesn't die. Do you feel sorry for Mina at all when she called the number and what was that, some type of therapy line, suicide hotline, and she started crying and all that? How you feeling about that? You sympathize with her at all, or and also, I just got to say about Mina, the audacity of women that are the side piece that think that they are more is just boggling to me. But go ahead.
It happens, my brother. The real side pieces who know that they're just side pieces, they just play their role and keep on going. But with me, for real, they do. They just play the role, keep on going. Right. But Mina actually thought she was going to take Jack away from the wife, which is pretty sad. And she even mentioned, they even brought up, like, you picked on me for this. Because I kept picking on Mina, saying that she would never let him get a nut. And that was brought up this episode as Jack was talking to other people about Mina's behavior, how she always get the nut and don't never let him get one, and then keep it pushing. And I do feel sorry for Mina, because no matter how you get to circumstances that almost drive you to committing suicide, there's pain involved, there's hurt involved. Even if you created the pain and hurt, there's still significant level of pain and hurt that pushes a person to almost commit suicide. And the thing that we always tell people is that no matter what you have done, it's not worth you taking your life, and that you can always fight back to make a better life from that low point. And so I feel a little empathy for her. I feel I just want to know, what is she going to do to make this next phase in her life better?
Yeah, she definitely has to start over. So shout out to Mina. Lamont, should they abandon this storyline right here? The flashbacks of him looking at the girl and get her dying and going up the steps. And I mean, I don't know. We ain't really done nothing with that right there. It's just random. How you feeling?
I just hope it's leading to something. Can I say that?
That's fair.
Like, if it's not leading to anything, why are we seeing it? It absolutely has to lead to something, because you've already told us how messed up Ray's childhood was through what's going on with his dad. I don't see how him losing a lost love person that he was with that got killed in a car accident, and you keep showing us flashbacks of that, I don't see how that helps us, unless it's supposed to be a connection between Ray and Mighty Fine Michelle in the future.
Right on. What else you got, man? I leave anything out? You got any final thoughts, anything like that?
Man, you nailed this one. You covered everything on this thing, man. The only thing I got is how did Breakout Bart get out of jail?
True. I forgot about that.
Like, what? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Manny wigging out. I get he wants to repent, but B. Avery, honestly, this is one of those situations in life where your morals kind of meet the high ground of the law of the land. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can always repent for what you did without being in jail. You can repent in private. Don't go telling everybody the bad shit you did so that you got witnesses to throw your ass in jail. Mm-hmm, you can go pray to God for your suffering and have that moral dilemma. outside of jail, don't do it in jail. And then if you're outside of jail, God grants you the will to do better in life, you can. But don't go around here trying to give the Amish flowers. They don't even do flowers, man. Do better, man. Shut up and do better. And let's keep you out of jail so that you can get back to that beautiful fiance you once had named Sensational Sherry. She's waiting on you, bruh. You can't do nothing with her in jail.
Yeah, man, I had an image of her too. She's quite very attractive. One more thing though, real quick. I know Mina was talking to the other detective agent about Driscoll. Is Jack and Driscoll the same person? Am I tripping?
Ain't Ray last name Driscoll?
I may have made a dummy move. You're right. I'm tripping. Yeah, you're right. So I was talking about Ray. Never mind. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to wrap it up for our Dope Thief on Apple TV Plus, episode 5, titled Fear of God. We will be here same time, same place next week while Lamont is over there laughing at me. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. We will both really, really appreciate it. But guys, don't forget, and before you go, I'm B. Avery, that's Lamont, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time. Subscribe, yes, subscribe, and I will give you $10 billion.